welcome back to the Scene podcast. It's been so long, but we are back and we are live at Texas Thespians. Do you hear the children all around screaming and yelling and probably singing Hamilton? Because I do, constantly. It's been so long. I hope you guys have been well. This is going to be our inaugural kind of like we're back episode, but I want to let everyone know right off the bat, season 3 is coming. Leah, Zach, KJ, the whole team is here. Actually, I'm sitting right next to Zach right now. Zach, say hello.
What's up, Justin?
Zach is the person who runs the scene and started all this and is the reason this all exists. So we love Zach very much. Applause for Zach. We have sound effects this season. Actually, I don't know if we will, but we have them today. Leah is setting up amazing interviews. We have such great people. KJ's in another state, but I'm going to pretend we have KJ in the house, and I'm going to leave a little space for him to say hello. We have KJ in the house.
How's it going, Justin? I got one question and one question only. How difficult is it to smuggle a Whataburger for me?
Today we are at Texas Thespians. There are like 8,000 kids running around. There are shows all over the place. It is literally going to be so much fun. This whole episode is just going to be a bunch of different segments that we record while we're here. I'm going to talk to Zach a little bit. I'm going to talk to my friend Rachel, who also works at Broadway Licensing with us. I'm going to talk to, we have Don Zelitis on the show, which is going to be awesome. We have some other people coming on, hopefully. We're going to be talking to high school directors or people that just come by the booth that want to chat and are interesting. So stay tuned for a really fun, big episode back. I'm so happy. I cannot wait for season 3. And without further ado, KJ, let's get into the friggin' episode. We're at the festival. I'm here with my good friend and my co-worker, Rachel Carmona. Rachel, how are you?
I'm here. We're here.
You gotta get it close to your...
Are you here? Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's good. Rachel is she works with me at Broadway Licensing. She also is maybe the most avid theater goer like I know. You see so much. Yeah, you see so much theater. Yeah, you do.
There's someone else that's more.
I don't know.
Really?
You see a lot. Your mezzanine app goes hard. It goes crazy.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So, Rachel works with me at DPS and Broadway Licensing. We talk about theater all the time. So, Rachel, I'm going to put you on the spot.
No.
I want you to tell me your 5 favorite shows you've seen in the last year.
5?
Yeah, your 5 favorite shows you've seen in the last year. And you got to go quick.
Can it be musical? And,
Yeah, musicals or plays.
In the last 5 years?
Anything. Could be Broadway, off-Broadway, regional, in the last year.
Okay. It would be Outsiders.
Really? Wait, why The Outsiders? Well, I guess that makes sense.
Well, yeah,
I guess okay, that's a go-to. All right, I don't really have any questions about The Outsiders. Keep going.
I like Stereophonic.
I still haven't seen Stereophonic yet.
You need to go see it.
I know, I have to.
But I need to go see it again a little bit closer. I was in the back of the theater.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could barely see, but it was
give a little
really
description of it. What is Stereophonic?
Basically, it's a band, not a band.
They're in a music studio,
They're in
right?
a music studio, and they're just recording. So it's their entire, I think it's like a year, 2 years of them recording
an album?
One album.
Yeah, okay,
And then
cool.
there's a lot of like
drama and breakups and stuff, yeah.
And there's
I heard
a lot
it's
of drug
amazing.
Use.
It's like the most Tony-nominated play in
Yes,
history.
yes,
Yeah.
it was great.
Okay, so we have The Outsiders, we have Stereophonic.
You put me on the spot.
I know I am.
Sign and Sydney, Brucein's Window.
Oh, you loved that
I
play.
loved that one. I saw it like 3 or 4 times.
What do you love so much about it?
Miriam was amazing. I
Yes.
really went there for her.
Yeah.
And she is so great. And I tagged her in everything on Instagram. She would comment, and it was just amazing. And I think me and a friend did Stage Door once.
You stage door the
yes,
show?
Because it was crazy with Oscar being there.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar heads, home Oscar heads, they're crazy.
They're insane.
So I stage doored like once, and I got
Yeah.
to talk to her for a little bit, but she was great.
That's so cool.
I love that.
I heard it was amazing.
It was
I wish
so
I got to
good.
see it.
I got front row, first preview.
God.
I was like,
See?
yes.
Rachel sees shows like multiple times. Wait, give me your last year, then I have another question. But what are 2 more shows that you've seen that you loved? You've seen so many
There's so
shows.
many, I don't have like favorites.
What about a play? What's a recent play that you saw that you loved? Doesn't have to be like your favorite, but just one that comes to mind.
Haters Gonna Hate.
Oh my God,
What?
Relax. That's my play. Okay. Wait. Talk about Yellowface.
Oh, Yellowface was
You
so good.
loved Yellowface.
I walked in never reading the script.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was about.
One of our titles
And
at
it's one
DPS.
of our titles, and it was amazing. The staging was so cool.
Yeah.
They had like 3 boxes, and then all the characters were different characters. So
Yeah.
double casting.
Yeah.
And I was like, now I need to read the script and do more research on this.
It's so good.
So I love that one.
David Henry Hwang is just brilliant. He's like one of my favorite playwrights. All right, last one. Something in the last year that you watch it. Give me something that you watched it. You were like, I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it was, and it like.
Job
Job is crazy. Job is so. Rachel's face.
I couldn't breathe. At the end of it, I said, wait a minute, I have so many questions. You cannot leave it like this. It's like, what? I'm not even going to tell you what happened because
It's
I need y'all
insane.
to read it.
Yeah, you got to read
You
it.
go, like,
Read that play, buy that play. It's amazing.
It was so good.
It was Max Wolf and then I forget who directed it, but they were both like brand new to the scene.
Yeah.
And it came from the Limelight Festival at Soho Playhouse. And it's just like truly one of the best thrillers I think I've ever seen on a stage.
I didn't know it was a thriller. I had no idea.
Wait, really? You
I
went
had
in
no
fully
idea.
blind?
I went blind.
I bought the script before and I read it for I read the first half, and then I went in and I saw it, and I was so happy I didn't read the back half. It was very, very nice.
And I get jump scared very easily.
That's a bad
so
show to
that,
see.
that one.
The sound effects or
jump
when the
scare,
lights and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That first one,
Yeah.
my heart rate went up, and I was like, I can't. What?
Cindy
what more?
Lemon and Peter Friedman were amazing.
Oh,
I feel like they're gonna get
so
nominated for
good.
Tonys for
They
sure.
have to.
Okay, wait. Another question for you.
Okay.
I have two more.
Okay.
One, what's the show you've seen the most? Because you repeat shows all the time.
I do repeat. The one show that I've seen the most was Moulin Rouge.
Why?
I've seen it 12 times.
No, you haven't. 12 times?
I've seen every Christian that's played except for this new cast, which I'm going to go see.
Oh
every Satine. And I love Robin Herder, so I saw her multiple times before
That's
she left.
insane.
So
Wait, why? Is it just you love the show?
I love the movie.
Okay.
I grew up I saw it in theaters in 2001
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
And then when I heard it was on Broadway, I was really excited. And then I worked with a company that actually gave me tickets.
Oh,
and
cool. Okay.
So yeah. And
12
then I just
times
thought,
is
12
crazy,
times.
though.
I
That's
love
wild.
It. I love
Okay,
it.
last question I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Before I stop torturing you and I
Yes,
let you off the
please.
podcast. I want you to give me one early... Guys, it's time for a Rachel hot take. I just played a random sound effect. What do you think is good? What could you say, right now, I'd put all my money on this is going to win a Tony Award? It could be someone for Best Actor this season. It could be who you think is going to win Best Musical or Best Revival or Best Play or Best Revival of a Play. What would you right now? I know for a fact this is going to hit.
Nicole's going to win.
You really
For
think
Sunset
Nicole's going to
Boulevard,
win?
yes.
I mean, you got
Have you seen
Audra.
it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, my God.
But she's going up against Sutton. She's going up against Audra.
No.
She's going up...
You have to see no. Sunset Boulevard.
Really?
I want to see it again, but it's such a hot ticket.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend that much money.
You really think that's a sure thing? I just saw
I
Death
went
Becomes
in-
Her.
I
Megan
haven't
Hilty
seen
and
that
Jennifer
one yet,
Samard
but
are
I
great.
love them too.
But I
yeah.
heard that's crazy. So that's your go-to.
I think Nicole is going to win this, and because again I went in blind.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did I just watch? This is incredible.
I feel like everyone listening who isn't from New York they only know Sunset Boulevard as what's his name walking through the alley going Sunset Boulevard.
You know what? He goes out around 9 o'clock, so I've been trying.
Have you tried to get behind it? I have too. Liz and
on.
Liz, my partner, she's been on the show a couple times. Liz and I have been like, one of us should go to the show, and the other one should wait outside and try to hold up a sign in the background of it so we could see it on camera. But we have not done that yet. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
do you have any other hot Tony takes that you think you could call right now?
I would say Job is going to win something.
You think Job's gonna win Best Play, or do you think it's gonna win maybe Best Direction or Best?
It might win Best
I think
Play.
Peter Friedman could win Best Lead Actor. Well, I think
Best Play
so
because I've seen
hard.
so much off Broadway too.
Yeah, but All In is gonna be crazy.
It's
It's gonna be hard to beat All
I'm
In.
thinking about that one.
I think Yellowface is technically a new one, and Eureka Day is gonna be really good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. I think it'll get Job's gonna get nominated for sure.
definitely get nominated.
Hills of California is gonna be new
Okay,
too.
I'm seeing that Sunday, so don't ruin it for me.
Hills of California is amazing. It's so good.
I'm so excited for
All
that
right.
one.
Well, Rachel Carmona, thank you so much for
Oh,
being on the
thank you.
show.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to plug anything? Do you?
Like what?
I don't know. That's usually what I ask people.
Oh,
They wanna-
wait. Justin has a script, Community Garden. I'm almost done selling it. I have 5 more copies. And next will be
Cabin Chronicles.
We got this. We got this,
Okay,
Justin.
that's enough. All right, thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
KJ, let's get to the next segment. All right, we are still here at Texas Thespians. It is Justin. I'm here I'm here technically with Rachel. Rachel, say hello. Oh no, I almost dropped the microphone.
Hello.
Rachel's just constantly sitting next to me, so she's in half the segments. I'm on here because I wanted to talk about some shows. We've had so many people come up to us and say, hey, what shows should I produce? What shows should I do? And I've been really lucky to be able to walk around and help people find really cool plays. So I wanted to shout out some really dope plays that we have been selling these last couple of days, right? Some fun facts of the day are John Proctor's The Villain sold out in like 24 hours. We brought 30 copies. They sold out like crazy. That show's going to be so amazing. Are you excited for it on Broadway?
I am so excited.
Sadie sings.
Sadie!
It's gonna be so good. We've had some this is the first time we got to debut Pigpen's Old Man and the Old Moon in script format. We've been selling it like insane amounts. We've gotten to see what like people look for, especially in Texas with UIL. If you don't know what UIL is, it's their kind of like brand of theater competition. They have to be. I think they basically have an hour. They have to do a 40-minute cut, and they have 10 minutes to load in and 10 minutes to load out. So it's a strict like 40-minute cut of a play. So it's been fun to watch like teachers and high school directors and stuff like that come in and be like, what can we cut? What can we do? What is good for UIL? A good recommendation from me, if you're one of those people, look at play scripts. That catalog is a lot bigger than you think. Almost every playwright in that catalog, including myself, is totally fine with you cutting it how you want. Just reach out to Broadway Licensing or playscripts.com. Let us know what's going on. And most of the time, the playwright won't even have like a weird moment. There's been a ton of plays we've been able to sell to people. The Apiary by Kate Douglas sold like crazy. People have been buying up Chicken and Biscuits by Doug, friend of the show. People have been buying The Cottage sold out by Sandy Rustin, friend of the show. The Revolutionist, every Lauren Gunderson title, friend of the freaking show. We've been selling Men on Boats and You on the Moors now. A friend of the show, Jacqueline Bacchus, and Candace Jones, friend of the show, Flex. We've had a lot of alumni from our podcast having really, really great stuff up here. Cabin Chronicles and Community Garden. Community Garden just sold out my play. Cabin Chronicles has like 5 or 6 more copies. But and I got to do some workshops too here, which was really fun. But it's so cool to have like students come up and buy plays that they're like excited about, and then have their teachers come up and buy plays that they're like desperately trying to figure out how to do and how to put together. But the best advice I can give to anybody who's doing thespian festivals, who's doing theater for competition, talk to your licensor. We have all the information that you need. Give us a call at Broadway Licensing. Give Concord, give Terra W, give them a call when you're doing a play and say, look, I really want to do this show. Can I cut it? And we will do everything in our power to make it happen. But you will get to know that you did it the right way. And I think that's so awesome. I love that so many people are coming up to us and figuring out how to do things correctly. This is a weird little rant, but you guys listen to the Scene podcast, and this is kind of what I'm known for, just talking about theater and goofing around. KJ's probably going to toss us in the middle somewhere. So thank you, KJ. I love you very much. Kisses forever. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Applause for KJ. And we will... Oh, and applause for Leah. I don't know why I didn't... Also Leah. And we'll get to the next segment. All right, I am here with Gina Martin at Texas Thespians. Gina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. So why don't you...
Welcome to Texas.
Thank you. I've been here very, very little, so I love it. And
well, it's a really big state and a lot to see.
I know, and truly it's the largest thespian festival in the country. It's massive, so everything really is bigger in Texas.
It is.
Wait, so why don't you tell my listeners a little bit about who you are?
I am a 25-year director. I currently am at Goose Creek Memorial High School in Baytown, which is outside of Houston. Yeah. And we have a program that does usually 4 scripted shows a year, a couple of improv shows. So we just really enjoy keeping our kids busy and making great theater.
Awesome. Yeah, I had, just based off like the season that you are doing currently, I have like a couple questions if that's cool.
Sure,
to chat about
absolutely.
quick. So I just did Julius Caesar. Shout out Oklahoma Shakespeare Festival. I love them very much. You guys just wrapped Julius Caesar.
We did.
How was doing Shakespeare with a high school like crew? Because I know there's a lot of high schools that do Shakespeare. One, because it's free, because it's public domain. But 2, also because there is so much history behind it. What goes into what you would call a successful Shakespeare show with a high school team?
I think the key is preparation. Yeah. And just really digging into the text so that the kids understand exactly what they're saying. Yes. And then those intentions can come through as they act it out. So we literally went through the lines word by word, and if it was a word they didn't know, we stopped and we checked references. We checked to make sure that we were looking at the appropriate time period definition. making sure that words that mean something now didn't mean the
Yeah,
same thing then.
yeah.
We talked through a lot of the historical, with Julius Caesar, of course, you're dealing with a deeply historical story, but
It's
we
so
also
close to it's so close to what's happening right now in the world.
you don't say.
It really is. It's like one of those shows that they just have so much. It has so much connection to today.
It does.
Yeah.
And, we didn't go into this with an agenda. I'm not here to talk politics with my students. However, if you perform it the way it's written, it asks the questions itself.
Yes.
About
absolutely.
ambition and power and the greater good.
Yeah.
And, when is it too much?
Yeah.
And, I felt like that was a great show to open their minds up just to learn to think critically and analytically.
Is there a Shakespeare show that you're like, the next Shakespeare show I want to take on with my high school team, the one I'm most excited about? Do you know what that might be? Or are there any?
I don't know what the next one will be.
Okay.
I do know what the bucket list is.
Okay, can you give me one on the bucket list? Can I hear it?
Absolutely. It's Much Ado About Nothing.
I just did Much Ado. It's
But-
such a blast.
But you have to have a Beatrice and a Benedict.
Oh yeah.
Benedict,
Oh yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
But that was kind of where we fell in with Julius Caesar is, you look at who you have and you don't precast, but you have to know who your strengths are.
Yeah.
And when you've got a Brutus, you do Julius Caesar.
You do Julius Caesar when you have a Brutus.
Whether you want to or not.
100%. So I wanted to ask another question. You're
Okay.
doing John Proctor's a villain. The Kimberly Bellflower play is going to Broadway.
Yes.
The Crucible is one of those shows that has really been taken in by young contemporary playwrights. You just did one of our dramatist titles, Abigail 1702.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that play?
Sure.
Yeah.
I am a longtime fan of Arthur Miller.
Yeah.
Crucible has been one of my favorites for many, many years.
For good reason.
I was first introduced to it in high school, and just the story really captivated me, resonated with me. The unfairness and the craziness that went on, that allowed that mentality to seep through, and the abuse of power.
Yes.
By the people in charge. I mean, the girls were pawns, although they absolutely were in the wrong. They became pawns by the people making them think they were powerful.
Exactly. Yeah.
And people died.
Yeah.
And so, as we were entering into Abigail, which, if your listeners don't know, it's a what if sequel.
Yeah.
To the Crucible.
It's like
featuring
what is it?
Abigail.
Like
it's 10 years later.
10 years later.
It's
yeah.
10 years later. Abigail Williams is living under an assumed name, and she's trying to atone for her past in Salem, and it's a beautiful, beautiful story about redemption and atonement. I did an exercise with all of my classes one day. Every class I taught, I told them that I had 2 screens on my phone. One said witch and one said not witch. And each kid came up and I showed them a screen and I told them, you can't tell anybody what you are. Once everybody had their designation, I said, okay, now your job is to get into the largest group you can without a witch in it. And so the class, they had to walk around, they had to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And they started, and then they started dividing and they started pointing. And then if someone was declared a witch, they were put in jail. And then we picked someone from each team and they acted as the jury.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was, if during the trial, the person that had accused the witch, if the witch turned around and accused them, well, then they got put in jail.
Yeah.
Periodically, I would just turn to the jail and point at someone and say, okay, you just died of dehydration.
Yeah.
You just died of cholera.
Starvation,
whatever.
all that.
And, by the end, there were only about 4 people left. And I said, okay, exercise is over, have a seat. I said, now, how many of you had a screen that said witch? And no one raised their hand because no one did.
You didn't give anyone witch?
I didn't give anyone
Oh
witch.
my God.
And even in that moment, they turned on each other. And I said, do you see how easily it happens?
It's such an interesting way of looking into that, yeah.
And I said, and it's not just, I said, in 1692 it was witch, but in the 1950s it was communist.
Yeah.
And in the 1980s it was, they have AIDS.
Yeah.
And in 2001 it was, they're Muslim.
Yeah.
And today it's, whatever.
Yeah, it keeps on going. Yeah.
Today they're conservative.
Exactly.
Whatever
yeah,
it is.
It's a cycle.
And I said, how do you prove that you're not something? You know, and we just run with it, and people's lives are destroyed.
Yeah.
And so that was how we approached that, and that really kind of informed the rehearsal process for the people involved. Mm-hmm. And we took it from there and just really dug into who those were, those characters were, and what they were about. And it turned out really beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad. That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and talking for a minute.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Gina Martin, what's the school that you directed again?
Goose Creek Memorial High School. Shout out Patriots.
Heck yeah. Shout out Patriots.
In
Thank
Baytown,
you so
Texas.
much. All right. We are here with John DeMitchell. John, how are you?
I'm awesome, man.
So tell the people a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, I am the head director at Eastview High School in tiny little Georgetown, Texas, the fastest growing city in the United States.
Nice.
And
you said that like you were like the head of tourism.
You know what? Maybe I am. I'm going to upgrade to it for sure.
Oh, by the way, I didn't say we're still at Texas Thespians. I started this off by just saying your name and saying, go ahead and talk. But yeah, we're at Texas Thespians currently at the Broadway licensing booth. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so I'm the head director at Eastview High School in beautiful Georgetown, Texas.
Yeah.
And, you know, I teach the actings and stuff.
That's awesome.
I teach kids about Meisner, which is really weird.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy. Getting it in early.
Oh, my favorite part is teaching them about Meisner and then sending them to do it with their parents without their parents knowing what they're doing.
That's so
like watching the chaos happen is beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is there because I have two shows that you've done that I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
But is there something to teaching Meisner to high schoolers or like for the first time? Because I know I learned Meisner in grad school and in college. No, none of my high school teachers ever thought to try to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So what is it like?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you just start teaching it, they go, this is not going to be something I can use in any way, shape, or form, right? Because it really is not. Like, repetition is not a usable thing.
Yeah.
But once you kind of tell them it's like working out at the gym, and then you start giving them games and ways to use it within their work, it really becomes that fun, dangerous rehearsal process. And so a lot of my rehearsal processes are like super focused on just playing and discovering, and with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child,
which we're going to get into.
I don't want to jump too
far.
Yeah. A lot of our rehearsals in those really beautiful scenes boiled down to like we just kept playing. We kept circling back around, and I kept giving them games to try and develop those relationships. And I didn't want them to fight by just trying to yell at each other, which is what high schoolers want to do. They just want to yell.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Well, I want to get into what we brought up.
Yep.
Eastview High School. That's where you teach.
That is where I teach.
That was also the Wands winner for Texas for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child High School edition. You guys were the first people in the state to do it.
Yeah.
What made you want to take on such an insane play? What was the process of it? Why be a Wands winner?
Yeah.
Tell me about this whole journey.
Well, so for one, like, Harry Potter's a really important place in my life, just the story and everything like that. Like, my Christmas is literally the 38 hours of all the Harry Potter plays.
No, it's not.
Literally, all our friends come over. We have, like, shepherd's pie in the evening. We all fall asleep. We wake up to Dobby dying. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for Harry Potter.
If you didn't know. But we sit there and so Harry Potter is like an important part of my life.
Yeah.
And then when I read Cursed Child, I was like, I'll be honest, that's actually my favorite of all of the series.
Really?
Yes, because it's so much more about relationships than any of the rest of the books.
Yeah.
Like, non-friend relationships, deeper than that.
Yeah.
They're relationships that are so universal. And so literally the second that I saw that Wands at the Ready was there, I turned to my group of like my advanced kids and I went, all right, it's time. We grabbed our camera. We started like just coming up with weird, stupid ideas on things.
That's awesome.
And then like we had this giant mind, like, it's always sunny mind map of things.
What you wanted to do?
Exactly.
So to be the Wands winner of your state, you had to submit a video appealing to why you should be the state premiere of the show, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like, what makes you and your community magical?
Yeah.
What makes and then other things like, how are you going to market it?
Yeah, exactly.
And, tell us about diversity at your school.
Yeah.
Really, I really loved that point in the video. And so, really just trying to think about what made the mind map was what makes us magical. And some of the things were really, really stupid.
Yeah.
Some of the things were
earnest and sweet.
Yeah, sweet and earnest and surprisingly thoughtful for high schoolers to come up with.
Yeah.
And then we made our video was like wow, that's music.
Oh yeah,
It was a commercial. It was just like a commercial for that.
For like what?
It was so stupid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like we just had a blast doing it.
So obviously being the Wands winner, you were the first people, other than the 2 pilot productions in the UK and the US, you were the first people to get the materials.
Yes.
You hadn't seen the Broadway show.
Nope.
No. So what was it like early on in this process, like getting the actual script in hand, knowing I am the Wands winner, I'm the first person, we will have that title forever, we have the first production in Texas. When you first like read the script in the sense of like being the director and being the person running it, was it scary? Were you immediately trying to troubleshoot and thinking of like problem solve ideas for like these crazy illusions? What was it like?
It was cold sweats. I think I gained 40 pounds just like from fear of looking at that thing.
No, absolutely.
And I mean, true story, I have never, until I want to say October 12th, I had purposely not seen one picture from the production.
Really?
Like nothing.
You really
at
stayed
all.
away. Would you recommend that to anyone else producing, like to try to not see as much to make it more yours? Or
if you love crying, yes, but 100%, because like I said, this is a story about relationships, and I think what we brought was our own interpretation, and it's so important for this to be part of your community, part of my vision, part of my kids' vision. So we all did our absolute best to stay as far away from things.
Yeah.
And I had a kid, the kid who played Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
He has beautiful red hair. Accidentally, he was
perfectly
perfect for
worked
the role.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. He had gone to see it before, and sometimes he would go, it's a little like Broadway. And I went, okay, we're not doing that. Something else.
You would try to stray away from it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome.
Because I can't do what Broadway does.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I want to do what my story is.
Yeah.
So the fun really boiled down to discovering and playing and trying. And the script does a good job of kind of letting you know what you're going to need to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the wand dance.
Yes.
Which is so important. You get a sense of it, and then once we got the music and really kind of laid into that, we're like, okay, we understand what Miss Imogen Heap was doing. And
ready, Miss Imogen Heap. You can't see John's face, but it's very beautiful. It's glorious.
There she was.
There she was.
Some are going to look similar, but in all honesty, like the music helps tell that story and guides you as a choreographer.
Yeah.
In that,
is there like a tip or trick you would give to like a high school teacher who just earlier today, before they listened to this podcast, was like, we're doing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child? Something you would tell someone before going into the process?
Great question.
Thank
Look at you. Hard hitter.
Yeah, I'm a podcaster.
Yeah,
I'm a big
you are.
interview fancy podcaster.
Yeah, you are. I would say take your time.
Yeah.
Really take your time.
Yeah.
What made this show so hard, in a good way, a challenging way, there's so many minute details that build this world out. If you're planning on it for next year, start working on it now.
Yeah.
Because you can really find so many beautiful moments. We were talking about Rose and Hermione in this script.
Yeah.
They don't get that conversation.
They're a little underwritten. Some stuff of theirs has been kind of taken away.
Yeah. I mean, they're still in there and still beautiful characters, but they don't get the scene work, the line work that's there. But we intentionally made sure that Rose was really important.
They had their moments.
Yeah, they had their moments. And so if you take the time to go through and really find those moments, really connects with the audience. Those are the moments that our audience really loved.
No, absolutely. I think that the Hoboken production, who was the pilot premiere for the U.S., told me was like, don't be afraid to be collaborative with your students.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a creative, crazy production. Like, don't be afraid, like, if there's a moment when you are in the room. Was there ever a moment in the room when, like, you guys had an illusion or something coming up and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this? And, like, other people in the room were just, like, pitching ideas? Did you have that?
That was, so we came up with the concept of how we were doing our train and what it would look like.
Yeah.
Really from kids. Like, that was the very first thing that we started playing with at our very first rehearsal was, what does Hogwarts Express look like? How do we do it? Like, I had an idea of lighting, but I didn't know if we wanted it moving on, how they would come in. So it was how they would use suitcases, how they would use the world and the lanterns and all the different fun stuff like that. So collaboration is very, very important.
Key for a show like this.
Yes.
So you're a insane person, and you love taking on wild shows for the first time.
Yes.
Because there's also a very famous show that everyone loves that you get to say were you the first high school production ever of this?
That's my understanding.
So I'll just give you that title because, I mean, it's our licensing. You guys did the first production of Ride the Cyclone High School Edition.
Yes.
We actually had Jacob Richmond and Brooke Maxwell on the show last season, so it's kind of fun that we're getting to talk to you now. We talked about that. Yeah, you guys are both on the same podcast.
Wow.
But talk about doing a show like that. That's something that is insanely viral. Every single high school kid knows and is obsessed with it.
Yes.
What was it like hearing that you were going to get the privilege of doing the show for the first time? What was it like kind of learning on your own, like how to take the text on?
Yeah. One of the most fun experiences, first off. That script is so well written.
Yeah.
The characters are so deep. I didn't even put two and two together for a long time. Oh, wait. We might be the only ones doing this show.
Yeah.
Because we did it in fall of 2022. And that was like when it was just getting viral.
It was right when, because it came out in the teens and it fell off.
Yeah.
And then they did the rewrite and did the arena stage production and it exploded again. And when that happened, our company, Broadway Licensing, was like, oh, let's create a high school version. So right around that time that you're putting it up is right when it came out.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
Mine didn't even have the high school edition moniker.
Oh.
They just sent me all the approved changes for it.
Whoa.
So I got it even before that
So
moment.
it was probably still kind of in process while you're doing it. That's really cool.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
And, it was one of those shows where those characters, the music's tons of fun.
Yeah.
The characters, oh my God. Breaks my heart.
Every character in that show gets their moment, and I can only imagine what your 6 or 7 high school kids who got to play those parts really got to enjoy and lavish in the music and the text within these characters. Was there a favorite moment during that process for you? Were your kids excited? Did they know the show when they were really pumped up about it?
I had 2 that really knew it, and then the kid who played Karnak hates musicals. He was like, but wait, I get to play a robot? I'm in. That was what he was really excited about.
That's awesome.
And that kid killed it.
Was
he was so
did you guys
good.
do a puppet, or was he Karnak?
It was just him. In all honesty, I wanted to originally I wanted to give him the broken robot look, but his humanity is what's so important.
Of course,
because that's what he learns in the end.
Yeah,
and so we had just little moments of it in makeup.
Yeah,
but we gave him kind of free will. He was out there for an hour as audiences coming in before the show starts.
Yeah,
and just improv and talking and
that's awesome.
At one point, he falls asleep. He wakes back up and he tells somebody that their car's being towed. Just stupid improv things.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Mom, why did you leave me? Just stupid, really funny moments.
That is very, very funny.
But it really was a special show.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's amazing. What a cool 2 titles. What a cool 2 titles your high school has.
Yeah.
I want to end this interview by asking you, as someone who is. You don't see this a lot. You don't see a lot of high school directors that are so adventurous that want to do these shows for the first time. Is there any shows that you've heard of that are on Broadway that aren't out yet that you're I would love for that to be the next thing that my school takes on and is the world premiere of this?
I mean, I'm pretty excited about that Water for Elephants. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, a beautiful book.
Amazing
I've read,
book.
Me and my wife read that book together.
Yeah.
You're
she
doing
reads
my
much
job
faster.
for me. She read it much faster than I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we read it together, and then we watched the movie, and then listened to it. I don't get out to New York because Texas is really far from New York.
Yeah.
But Pigpen they're
brilliant.
I've been a huge fan of them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Empire Records, which is coming out soon on Broadway. Yeah. I'm just a huge fan of that movie.
Yeah.
Again, I like characters. It's 100%. Great characters.
Yeah.
Swept Away.
Swept Away. I got to see the invite. My friend is in it.
What?
I know.
No way.
Shout out Matt DeAngelis. I got to see. He's the understudy for John Gallagher Jr. He's in the ensemble. He has a really great moment. I got to go to Invited Dress. It's gorgeous. If you love it's like if Bright Star was way darker and on a boat.
That's 100% what I want it to be.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No,
honestly, you look like you could be in it.
I should be
in it. You should be in it.
Okay.
I gotta figure out. Cast John DeMitchell in Swept Away.
That is a really long hashtag.
I don't care. It works.
You know what? It does work.
John, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, Justin, it's been such a pleasure.
It was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Tune in next week for part 2 of our Texas Thespians coverage, including exclusive interviews with Jonathan Dorff and Don Zelitis. From all of us here at The Scene, happy holidays, and we'll see you next time.